The Black Shuck, a creature that skulks in the annals of English folklore like a shadowy spectre on a moonlit night. This enigmatic beast, the stuff of shivers and whispers, is said to prowl the lonely landscapes of East Anglia. Its form is inky as the abyss, and its eyes aglow with an otherworldly fire. Depending on who you ask, the Black Shuck is either a flesh and blood hound, a spectral apparition, or something else entirely, perhaps straddling the line between the earthly and the ethereal. East Anglia, that quaint and mist-laden corner of England, claims the Shuck as its own. The counties of Norfolk, Suffolk, Cambridgeshire and Essex have long been fertile ground for tales of this terrifying canine. Since at least the 1100s, stories of devilish dogs have echoed through the region, though the early specific account of the Shuck dates back to the 16th century. Yet this creature's infamy is not confined to these shores alone. Throughout northern, western and central Europe, the legend of black hellhounds has taken root, each culture weaving its own variation into the fabric of local lore. The common thread in these stories is the Shuck's menacing appearance. Imagine, if you will, a creature of monstrous proportions, sometimes likened to a horse in size, sometimes a shaggy, one-eyed harbinger of doom, padding silently along the coastlines, through graveyards and across desolate moors. This is the Shuck, whose very presence is said to presage death, calamity, or worse. Yet not all accounts paint the creature as a malevolent force. In some tales, the Shuck is a protective spirit, a guardian of the family or clan to whom it appears. The name Shuck itself is rooted in the Anglo-Saxon word for devil or evil spirit, though etymologists might trace its origins even further back to a Proto-Germanic term meaning to frighten or to petrify. And frighten it does, for this beast is often regarded with dread rather than reverence. The first mention of the Black Shuck can be attributed to one Reverend E.S. Taylor, who in 1850 made note of a fearsome Shuck the dog fiend in his journal Notes and Queries. Taylor relayed tales of East Anglians who spoke in hushed tones of a great red-eyed dog that haunted churchyards by night. William Alfred Dutt, in his 1902 book Highways and Byways in East Anglia, described the Shuck as a hulking one-eyed beast with a howl that could curdle blood. Dutt warned travellers to avert their gaze if they ever heard the Shuck's eerie cry, lest they fall victim to its spell and meet their doom before the year was out. Though some might dismiss these tales as relics of pagan superstition, the Shuck's grip on the imagination remains unyielding. Let's not forget the 12th century Peterborough Chronicle, that venerable tome of Anglo-Saxon history. It is within these pages that we find one of the earliest references to devilish hounds. The Chronicle tells of a nightmarish scene from 1127, when spectral huntsmen and their howling black dogs are seen galloping through the woods of Peterborough. These hellish apparitions, likely conjured by the chronicler's disdain for the newly installed Norman abbot, were said to be as black as midnight, their gleaming eyes like saucers. This wild hunt, as scholars have dubbed it, is a motif that recurs across European folklore. Whether they be spirits of the dead, fairies or demons, these phantom hunters and their hounds strike terror into the hearts of those who hear their ghostly baying on a cold winter's night. Moving to more recent times, we come to the infamous incidents in Bungay and Blythburgh in 1577, chronicled by the ever-enthusiastic Abraham Fleming. In his pamphlet, A Strange and Terrible Wonder, Fleming describes how a Black Shuck stormed into St Mary's Church in Bungay, leaving death and destruction in its wake. The beast, believed to be a manifestation of the devil himself, reportedly snapped the necks of 2 worshippers before vanishing into the night. On the very same day, another Shuck, or perhaps the same one, wreaked havoc in Holy Trinity Church in Blythburgh, but it brought the roof crashing down upon the congregation. Though modern scholars might attribute the events to a violent tempest, the legend persists that it was the Shuck's fury that caused such devastation. And finally, we come to the tale of skeletal remains unearthed in Leiston Abbey in 2014. The tabloid newspapers were quick to claim that these bones, measuring a staggering 7 feet in length, belonged to none other than the Black Shuck. Could this be the first physical proof of the creature's existence? Skeptics, of course, are not so easily convinced. suggesting instead that the remains belonged to a particularly large Great Dane or another sizable breed of dog. But for those who believe in the old tales, the discovery was nothing short of vindication. So whether you regard the Black Shuck as a cautionary fable, a supernatural guardian, or a terrifying reality, its legend continues to cast a long shadow across the windswept landscapes of East Anglia, and perhaps, just perhaps, it still prowls the lonely roads on a dark and stormy night. Have you seen the Black Shuck? Have we missed something important? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe as it helps us fund the channel. This has been James from Fairy Tales, Myths and Legends. We hope to see you again soon.